Good evening, groovy citizens, and happy fantastic Friday. I hope you all have been having a wonderful day. My day has been great, actually. Busy, but great nonetheless. But guess what? It's always busy and it's always productive, so I'll take it. So now, before I jump into today's topic, I just have a few things that I want to share with you. Number one, I'm excited because we had our Go Broke Into Beautiful foundation meeting on yesterday, and you all know I sit on that board for that foundation, and I'm super excited because we, under the prison project, so you have the umbrella, the big umbrella, Go Broke Into Beautiful Foundation, and under that we have the prison project, which is what we're really focused on right now. And so I volunteered last night on the call to give leadership to reaching out and assigning inmates to individuals on the board, because what we want to do is send out correspondence. Now, I'm not sure, Renee and I are going to talk next week about how we want to do that. Do we want to do it quarterly? Do we want to do it monthly? Or, how exactly do we want to do that? And I think it's great, because what you don't want is for individuals who are incarcerated. I'm going to say this: it doesn't matter what you did. It matters not what you did, because if God can forgive you, then who am I to sit and hold judgment against you? But you want to feel like you can get through this, that you're not alone, because some people go to prison and they don't have anybody that reaches out to them. They don't have anybody that contacts them or any of that. And so I'm excited to be a part of that project. But I'm also excited because I'm going to implement that into what I do at my church, because I give leadership to our Another Chance ministry. And so I want to do the same thing. So tomorrow we actually have a meeting with Reverend Brenda, all the ministries that fall under her, and I'm going to bring that up to find out how we can do that. So that will mean reaching out to the congregation, letting them know, if you have a family member, a friend, a neighbor, doesn't matter, who is incarcerated, get me their information, and I'll make sure, because right now I'm a ministry of one, and it's okay, that something goes out to them. Like I said, it could be bi-monthly, it could be quarterly. Haven't quite worked that out, just to let them know that, we do care, God cares, and that they're not alone. And y'all know I love to motivate and encourage, so this is perfect for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Y'all just don't have no idea how excited I am about that. Now, let's jump into today's topic, y'all, because I'm going to tell you something. This sister's hungry, but I have a taste for some Lucky Charms. Don't judge me, because I don't judge you. I didn't get it this morning. I had to stop and pick up breakfast because I had something to do. But I'm going to go in, and while this video is uploading, I'm going to fix me a bowl of cereal. So today's topic is how to stop comparing yourself with others. We're talking about how to stop comparing yourself with others. Too often, people spend way too much time comparing themselves to other people. You look at this person and you say, wow, they have this, they have that, they have the other, and all I have is this. So what? So what? Let me say this: everything that glitters is not gold. Y'all know that, because we've all heard that saying before. And I also say this: when you see people with a lot of stuff, you don't know their backstory. You don't know what they had to go through to get that. You don't know what they're going through right now to keep it. Because I'm going to tell you this: there are a lot of folks who put up this front that they have it all together and they have it going on, and honey, they are struggling. But they'll never tell you that. They are struggling to keep what they have. Some folks out here are struggling to keep up the appearance of having it all, and you're driving this nice car and you're living in this nice home, but you're barely making it, because at the end of the month you have no money left. You've paid your bills, but you have nothing left, but you want to put up this front like you have it all. So that's why I said be careful. So let's put things into perspective, and I want to show you how even in biblical times people were comparing themselves to one another, because this is nothing new. And so in the Old Testament, we see women comparing themselves with others. In the book of Genesis, chapter 29, make sure you go back and read that. If you haven't read it at all, make sure you read that. Jacob, as you know, is the grandson of Abraham, and he travels in search of a Hebrew bride. He meets her father, and they reach an agreement for him to shepherd the sheep for 7 years in exchange for Rachel's hand in marriage. Well, 7 years passes and Jacob wakes up in his honeymoon suite only to realize that the woman that's laying next to him isn't Rachel at all. It was in fact her older sister Leah. So their father tricked Jacob into marrying Rachel's sister to get some more work out of him. So Jacob was angry and he was upset, but he was determined to marry Rachel. So he agreed to work 7 more years so he could finally marry her. Jacob finally married Rachel, and there was nothing but strife and hard feelings between the two sisters who were married to the same man. Come on, y'all. So both sisters were always comparing themselves to each other because they wanted the love of their husband. So while we may not have to compete with our sister for our husband's attention, thank God of that, we do at times mentally compete with others in every area of our lives. We have to stop trying to live a fulfilled life by being like other people. Let me tell y'all a little secret. I don't want to be like anybody else but me. I want to be the Michelle that God created. I don't want to be Beyonce. I don't want to, now would I like to have her money? Of course, but I don't want to be Beyonce. I don't want to be Mariah Carey. I don't want to be, I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head, but you get where I'm going with this. I want to be me. See, because again, you don't know their backstories. So here's how you can stop comparing your life to other people. I have 5 points to share with you, a takeaway, then I'll let you be. Number 1, reset your focus. Reset your focus. So God rewards those who are faithful with the gifts they are given. It's not about what you have, but what you do with what you have. Some of us need to reset our focus. We are so fixated on having that big thing over there that you lose sight of what you have right here. See, I'm of the mindset that I'm going to always be thankful for what I have as I move towards getting what I want. That's why every day during my prayer and meditation time, I say, Lord, I thank you. And I go down the list of thanking him for everything. And some things I may say, now, you know, Lord, that's not exactly what I want, but I'm thankful that I have it as you continue to bless me to work towards whatever it is that I truly want. Number 2, remember, perfection is nothing but an illusion. I opened this video up by basically saying that perfection is nothing but an illusion. So when we are consumed with comparison, we tend to forget that social media isn't always an accurate depiction of reality. Even when it's someone else's success, even when it is, someone else's success is not your failure. So I need you all to understand that. Just because you may have 5 people that are successful in whatever area that they are successful in, it doesn't mean that you failed in anything. Their success has nothing to do with you. Period. End of sentence. So we do have to stop getting on social media and living our lives through other people. Because again, people are only going to share with you what they want you to see, what they want you to know about them. They're not telling you the whole story. And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Whatever your backstory is, that is your business. I don't need to know about it. The world doesn't need to know about it. Now, if you choose to share it, you know, that's fine. However, we don't have to know. But when you get on social media, we get so that delusion is just so huge. Like I said, there are a lot of folks on social media that pretend to live these great lives that they really aren't living at all. But they'll have you to believe that they are. Why? Because they feel like they have to put up this front, and you know, you want people to think that you all of that and then some. I was going to say something else, Lord, that you're all of that and then some, and you really aren't. Just be you. Just be you. Why offer up that lie? If you don't have it going on, don't put it out there that you do. Just be you. And the world will be a much better place. Moving on. Number 3, remember where you started. So when we reflect on how God has transformed us, gives us new perspective, it shifts our focus from the false imperfections of our present to the true I can't even pronounce this word, depravity of our past. Like old furniture, God sands us, primes us, and refines us into what he created us to be. Y'all, that'll shout you happy right there. Unlike life, God doesn't throw us out like old trash. You know, remembering where you started is so powerful. Sometimes people arrive. Okay, that's an air quote moment. They arrive and forget where they started. And so now, you know, your nose is all up in the air and you think you have it going on, but you forgot where you started from. And I love it when I said that, comparing us to old furniture, he sands us, primes us, and refinishes us into what he created us to be. I am so thankful that God doesn't throw us out like old furniture, and then the way man does, because y'all know what I'm talking about. When man is finished with you, and that's man or woman, okay, they will throw you out like old trash just like that and move on to something else. And it happens every day of the week. But I'm so thankful that I can remember from whence I've come. And I look at my life where I am now. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all that I've had to go through to get to where I am now. Because see, it's that stuff that I had to go through that makes me the person that I am today. And I'm not necessarily saying it's all bad stuff. Now, I'm not going to say that. But the person that you were makes you who you are now. And the beauty of it is even though I am the person that I am right now, God is still transforming me into something else. And I'm thankful for each step that God takes me through. Number 4, stay within your boundaries. God puts you in charge of you and you alone. So don't borrow tasks, roles, or responsibilities that belong to someone else. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And if you don't remember anything else that I say to you today, I need you to understand that. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Stop worrying about what everybody else has. Stop worrying about where everybody else is going. Stop worrying about who everybody else is marrying and or dating, and focus on you. Just like I focus on me. I can't worry about what everybody else is doing. Yes, I pray for the world in general, but I have to focus on what Michelle is doing. I can't get all caught up in everybody else's lives, because when you do that, you step outside of your boundaries, and now you're living somebody else's life. Let them live their life for them. God has them. You focus on you. And last but not least, number 5, remember who he is. So what we really need to do is to look to him who created us, remembering that his ways are higher than our ways and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. And I want you to go back and read Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. God not only loves us more than we can ever comprehend, and he desires to give you your heart's desires, if only we stop focusing on others and what they have. Again, you've got to stop focusing on other people, what they have and what you don't have, because that's when you start to compare. And you say, you know, hey, we came from the same neighborhood, but they have this, they're on a level 8 and I'm down here on a level 3. So what? It just means they took a different path in life than you did. They're doing some different things than you decided to do. They're living their dreams and they're focused on their goals, and you're not. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that they're better than you. It doesn't mean that you are beneath them. It just means that they are working towards what they want, and you are too busy spending your time worrying about what somebody else is doing, and you can't get to what it is that you want because you're not focusing on you. So I need you all to remember who God is. Even when your life looks like it is falling apart or it is going to hell in a handbasket, I need you to remember who God is. Remember that if God has done it for you before, he will do it again. You know, when I do my prayer and meditation time in the morning, I always say, God, I thank you for what you've done. I thank you for what you're doing. And I thank you for what you're going to do. You know why? Because I remember who he is. In spite of whatever else it is that you're dealing with, remember who God is. God is not a man that he would lie. God is the giver of all things. God can do more for you than man can ever do any day of the week. God, it says he will make you the head and not the tail. God has all power in his hands. That's why I remember who God is. Even in, no matter what situation I may be going through, I always remember who God is. God is a way maker. He is a miracle worker. He is that light in the darkness. God is he's an awesome God. Like I said, there's nothing that he cannot do except fail. That's the only thing that God can't do, and that's fail. God has been faithful to you. He's been faithful to me. He's been faithful to us. And like I said, if he's done it before, he'll do it again. Steve Harvey, perfect example. He talks about how he lost everything. I believe it was twice, he said. Lost everything and had to start over from scratch. And look at him now. He's living his best life. And that's not to say that it's not going to get better, because I believe it will be, but that man lost everything twice. But but Steve remembered who God was. And just like God allowed him to have all of that stuff once, he gave it to him a second time. He lost it, and God said, hey, I'm going to bless you again, and he gave it to him a third time. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what somebody said, what they didn't do, what they should have done, remember who he is. And if you stay focused on that, you're going to be all right. Here's your takeaway. Don't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlighted reel. I'm going to say that one more time. And that quote is by Steve Furtick. And he says, don't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reels. So again, as I've said several times earlier during this car conversation, y'all better stop comparing your life to somebody else's, because you don't know their backstory. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know their struggles, but you want what they have, not realizing that, hey, they are going through a lot right now. Yes, they smile, because I've done it before in life where you smile at the right times and inside you are just overwhelmed. You may be hurting. You may be just falling apart, but you put on that smile and you go out there and do what you do anyway. Why? Because you want people to think that you have it all together, and you don't. Listen, you don't have anybody you don't have to prove anything to anybody. Live your best life. Be true to yourself and stop comparing yourself with other people. You have what God had. Let me say this. What God has for you is for you. Can't nobody take it from you, and they can't keep you from getting it. And just like what God has for them is for them. Remember that, and you'll stop comparing yourself to others. Listen, y'all, that's my time. Thank you for giving me just a little bit of your time to speak life into you, to encourage you to stop comparing yourself with other people. Because I'm going to tell you this, sometimes you think you want what that person has, but if you only knew the hell they were going through, you go, ooh, nah, that's all right. You can have it. You can keep that. I don't want any part of that. But I want you to understand that you have to stop comparing yourself to other people, because it's not worth it. And all you're doing is making yourself sick over worrying about something that you can't do anything about anyway. Listen, if this is your first time watching my video, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I do car conversations every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So come on back tomorrow for another motivational topic. And I call it a car conversation because, as you can see, I'm sitting in my truck doing this video. If this is not your first rodeo, I say welcome back. Y'all know I miss you when I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a wonderful, fantastic, safe Friday. If you're going out, please be careful, you guys. Please, please, please. I cannot stress that enough. Please be careful about where you're going, who you're hanging out with. If you go someplace and you leave and you didn't come with that person, don't you leave with them. Don't you do it. I'm telling you, we are living in a world where people will hurt you just like that and don't care. So please be careful about your surroundings. Pay attention. Pay close attention, say that 3 times fast, to what's going on around you, because I want you all to be safe, and I want you to make it back here tomorrow so we can hang out again and motivate, so that I can motivate you. And to be honest with you, a lot of you motivate me in many ways. You may not know it, but you do. Having said that, you know the drill, you know my spiel. I love you all to the moon and back, and there is nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, that you can ever do about it, because I'm always going to love you. Love you all, and we'll talk again tomorrow.